What's up guys, my name is JDCut5 and welcome to the Chelsea versus Tottenham preview on the channel today. Before we get into things, it'd be much appreciated if you're able to give this video a like. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000. It's completely free and I appreciate everyone that has been able to hit the subscribe button. If you haven't, please make sure you do. Don't forget the notification button so you never miss a video, and in terms of all my socials, link down below so you can keep up to date with everything going on with the channel. It's Chelsea versus Tottenham tomorrow in the Premier League. 7:30 kickoff at Stamford Bridge. It is a massive one for Chelsea. Still being able to see if they can get themselves into top 6 spots for European, and Tottenham are still looking to be able to see if they can get themselves into a European place, being in contention for the top 4. A lot to play for, that is for sure. Still near to the end of the season, and if there wasn't, there's still a lot of rivalry on the cards. Chelsea have just won one of their last 33 home league games against Tottenham. The last defeat coming in the April 2018, 3-1, and Spurs were actually managed by Mauricio Pochettino at the time, and it is weird how things come around. In terms of head-to-heads, Chelsea have won 78, Tottenham have won 56, and there's been 42 draws. There's a lot riding on this, as I mentioned, but there's still a lot in our favour, that is for sure. Chelsea have not lost in their last 6 home games. We've conceded 14 compared to Spurs that have conceded 6 in their last 6 games. You can see it's been a lot in terms of being able to defensive issues from the Chelsea side of things. That is for sure. Only 9 points picked up in their possible 6, but only Tottenham picking up 7 points in their possible 6 also. So form is not really there for both sides, I would say, and it's definitely the case we're feeling very well matched. In the last meeting against the two sides, it was an absolute blockbuster of an event. It actually ended up finished Chelsea 4, Tottenham 1. Unfortunately, Tottenham were just absolutely shocking in terms of their perspectives. Kulusevski opened the scoring in 6 minutes, and unfortunately, the rest writes for itself. The red cards, the penalties, the VAR calls, you name it, that game had it. Really good in front of a Chelsea perspective, and it was Nicholas Jackson's first hat-trick for the club also. But yeah, very poor from Tottenham, that is for sure. So they're going to be looking for revenge, and it's definitely going to be the case if they're able to do it in this game, that is for sure. The last meeting, Palmer did grab a goal from the penalty spot. If he were to score in this game, he will match Haaland's kind of goals at the moment, and he will surpass if he were to score 2. We can actually jump to 8th, meaning 3 points off of 6th, United being 6th, Newcastle being 7th, so still very tight, that is for sure. Still very much the case where there's a lot to play for in that case. The referee for tomorrow is Robert Jones there. Not really heard of him myself. I'm just glad he's not Anthony Taylor, and I'm very glad that we're not seeing him in making any calls, because he has never ever done any well for ourselves. In terms of the lineup tomorrow, I feel like it's going to be very different to normal, that is for sure. Chelsea will reckon, I feel like we'll go for a 4-2-3-1 like the last game against Aston Villa. Petrovic to be in goal, Cucurella on the left-hand side, Chalobah on the right-hand side, Alfie Gilchrist and Badiashile as a centre-back pairing, Gallagher and Caicedo in the middle with Madueke, Palmer and Mudryk, with Jackson just in front. The reasoning for my lineups is due to the amount of injuries that we do have, unfortunately, and it seems to be that this will probably be the best side that we can possibly field. We could actually field a whole team with how many injuries we do actually have, which is actually shocking. In terms of the noted injuries for tomorrow, Sanchez is still out, Chilwell, Fofana, Colwill's back in training, so I don't think we'll see him on the pitch or on the bench, to be honest. Be very interesting if we do. Thiago Silva is out, unfortunately, after an injury picked up against Aston Villa. Reece James is still out on the right hand side there. Lavia and Gusto injured at the moment. Obviously Lavia out to the end of the season. Raheem Sterling still injured, with Enzo being out to the end of the season, with Leslie Opokuchukwu still injured, and Cuckoo back in training, but I don't see him back in the side, and Carney Chukwuemeka still picking up many injuries. As I mentioned, that's a whole squad in itself, and it could be better than this one. Looking at the squad that we've got in front of you right now, do I think it's good enough? No. Do I think we win? Yeah. Don't question me on that. I don't know why. If I were to predict a score tomorrow, I reckon it'll be 2-1 to Chelsea. We still leak goals. We never keep clean sheets at the end of the day, so I reckon there'll still be a goal scored by Tottenham, but we seem to be able to still possess some sort of scoring power, even at our worst. 2 goals scored on the weekend after that kind of poor performance in the first half against Aston Villa and coming back in the second, and it proved to be, after having 2 goals disallowed, that we're still there to be able to score goals. A notable factor for the injuries as well, a new one made today, is Axel Disarcy. That's my reasons for why Alki Grulkist and Badiashile with a 2 centre-back pairing. it's one of those, it's not the strongest side, but I don't feel like we've had our strongest side all year. We just have to make do with what we've got. Mauricio Pochettino mentioned earlier in his press conference that he will be kind of having some youngsters on the bench like he always had this season, and it might be time for them to see some minutes also. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually do get onto the pitch with the actual team that he may select. For what I predict, and he might completely select a completely different one. Tottenham's injuries tomorrow, and Doggy Forster and Timo Werner will not make any return back to the club, and Solomon is out at the end of the season. So a few injuries for Tottenham. I don't think that's anything that's going to really impact them. Obviously, in their previous game, they lost against Arsenal 3-2. They didn't really look that good either. So I still feel like we've got a very even match on our hands. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, in terms of the form that Tottenham have had, they've won 2, drawn 1 and lost 3, currently picking up 7 points. Looking at the games they've actually played, they've not been well whatsoever. Obviously lost against Arsenal 3-2, lost against Newcastle 4-0, picked up a win against Forest 3-1, drew against West Ham, won, scraped a win against Luton, and lost out to Fulham. So when you actually look at it, as much as Chelsea have only picked up 2 points more, they've definitely had a few thumpings recently, Spurs, and they haven't had the best of seasons. Postecoglou was mentioned in his press conference last week before the Arsenal game if he were to be happy with settling for 5th, and he definitely said no. Obviously he's had a lot to face without having Harry Kane this season and so on, but he's definitely not happy the way his boys are playing. As I mentioned at the start of this particular preview, that Chelsea had not really having the best of form. 1-2, drawn 3 and lost 1, only picking up 9 points, 2 more than Tottenham's and in the last 6. Looking at it, we was quite unlucky against Aston Villa. I'd have to say that we should have deserved to pick up 3 points, but if the first half performance was better, then I reckon we'd have sailed it to 3 points easy. That game against Arsenal, the less said about that, the easier, to be honest. From start to finish, it was just absolutely shambles. Nothing good about it, nothing to be spoken about it anymore, and definitely one to be forgotten. Overall, our form has just not been good. We've defensively, we've been leaking goals, and that just clearly shows. 2 goals conceded against Burnley, a team at the bottom. 3 goals conceded against Man United, a team that struggled to score goals. 2 goals against Sheffield United, a team at the bottom. Obviously, the only notable factor is that 6-0 victory against Everton, but then we went on to lose in the FA Cup. I haven't included in that, obviously, because I've just included what's happening in the Premier League, if that were to be in this last 6. But it's one of those, we know that we can see goals too many times, and we know that we can score goals at the same time, so it's a given that there's going to be plenty of goals tomorrow, that is for sure. But at least if we do ourselves proud, then that is the main thing. I am never afraid of losing as long as we always put in a good performance, but as mentioned by previously and lots of fans, unfortunately when we lose we do it so badly. But at the end of the day, this is a London derby, there's a lot to play for, and if we lose against Tottenham, we will never hear the end of it. It is always nice being able to beat Tottenham. They never beat us at home. Literally that one time that I mentioned, they beat us in 2018 under Mauricio Pochettino 3-1, but they just never can come to us and beat us, sorry. We've always had a good record against them. We always do well against them. So it's time at the end of the season, if we can write ourselves out on a high. We've got some big games still. We've still got a home. We've got Tottenham, West Ham, and we've still got Bournemouth to play. So a lot to play for, as I mentioned. And I reckon that we can get the 3 points. And if we knock on the door in terms of European perspective, then fair enough. We've given it a go. Obviously, we didn't expect to be in the position that we currently are, but it is one of those we have to accept for where we are at as a club and the transitions that are going on during the players and the managerial options. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow for sure. I'm not confident, don't get me wrong, but I still think we're going to get the win. I'm hoping that we are. If you're going to be there, let me know. I'm going to be there also. Going to be really exciting to be able to, if we can get the result, because it will definitely be a good night under the lights at the Bridge, that is for sure. If you would be looking for the review, I'll be more than happy to be able to do that if it is to be requested. Obviously, a lot more content coming on Chelsea soon, and it will be definitely interesting to see what your thoughts are going to be on the game. I hope you guys have enjoyed this particular preview though. Please like and subscribe for more content just like this one. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you never miss a video. Cheers.